That passes. Next is the superintendent's report.
Madam Chair, members of the board, it is indeed a privilege to be here at the Center for Advanced Technical Studies this evening, and many great things are happening throughout our district, but I would highlight an event that was here on Wednesday of last week. We hosted a failure to launch conference attended by a number of people from all across our state, had representatives from Harvard University and other points to be here, and of course the absolute stars of the show were our own students who talked about the many wonderful things that are happening here at the center. And as Dr. Couch just mentioned, we're having this steady stream of visitors come here to look at what's happening, and from all the way, you said within the past week, from Kentucky and New York State, I think, which really validates the vision that you, the board, had for this program. And we're so delighted to have won this award for the architecture of the facility, which I think certainly makes it all tie together and work so very well. But my particular appreciation goes to Dr. Couch for his vision in making this a program that is of such interest all across our nation. And I'm confident that before it's all said and done, we'll have visitors from all around the world. But certainly for right now, we're delighted to have people visiting us from all across the country. There are so many other examples of the good things that are happening here. I'll just give you a couple of data points from the past week or 10 days. U.S. News and World Report released its list of best school districts and high schools all across our nation. For the second consecutive year, District 5 was named as the #1 public school system in South Carolina in terms of preparing our students for college. So doesn't it make you feel great? While there are a number of different categories throughout that, there are a number of different bragging points for a number of people. Another one for us is the fact that Dutch Fork High School was the #1 rated public school that was not a total magnet school in our state. So congratulations, Dutch Fork High School, #1. All right, at this time, we'll go to our monthly financial reports. Mr. Richardson, our Chief Finance Officer.
Thank you, Dr. Hefner. Exhibit B in your board package, you will have the monthly financial reports through March of this year. It's being presented this month, obviously in May, because we only had one board meeting last month. We are 75, as of the end of March, we're 75% through the year, and everything seems to be on track, but I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have.
All right. Certainly you can ask at any time between our meetings as well. Thank you so much.
And now we will have our report from our Office of Design and Construction. And this evening, we've asked Mr. McAllister to do a 5-year review of bond and capital projects in our district. So much has been accomplished over the period of the past 5 years, and he will briefly hit some of the highlights.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. In June of 2009, I met in front of you and we discussed what we're going to try and do over the next 3 years to give you a 5-year plan. And then in January, I think it was, of 2011, we came back and we discussed, you know, what we felt like we could do. And this actually, I think, is a slide from that 2011 presentation. Couple of things I'll mention to you: the 121 portable classrooms that you had, that you were using here, they were old. They weren't just your normal run-of-the-mill portable classrooms. They were very old. And what we discovered early on was that this program was as much about playing catch-up to what had happened over the previous 20 years, I think, as much as it was about potential growth. The majority of our mobiles still in use at this point in time are at Chapin Elementary, Lake Murray Elementary, and Chapin Middle School, and we'll address those issues with our new middle school as we begin construction there. The first slide is Chapin Elementary School, and this was our original challenge, your original scope that we had to work with when we opened this building project, the bond project. The next slide will actually show you, and I'm going to try and highlight some of the bigger areas, the admin area renovation, the kitchen renovation. The third line, you'll see creation of developmentally delayed instructional area. What we found was the kids in this area were being bused H.E. Corley, which wasn't fair to those kids. So we were able to create a space at Chapin Elementary so that, since that's where most of those kids were housed, to cut that down. We've enclosed your media center with your glass wall system, total HVAC replacement. And as a final project, next slide, please, sir. We put a lid on your building. So we pretty much took your Chapin Elementary School, and what we were able to do was make it a relatively new school. From the plumbing and underneath to the paint and the ceiling tiles and the lighting, modernized the technology, and at the end, we used capital dollars. We had used all of our bond dollars there to put a lid on it, and so you have a relatively new school at Chapin Elementary School. That's a shot from, that's actually the playground you see on the left is actually the playground for that developmentally delayed classroom that we were able to create, and that blue structure to the right is actually your kindergarten wing, your new kindergarten wing that we added. Leapart Elementary School, our challenge was to add a new kindergarten wing, build walls to create classrooms, improve student drop-off and pickup lanes, and improve the parking. What we were able to do while we were there, and again, I'm going to highlight, admin area renovation to create a secure entrance, just as we created a secure entrance at Chapin Elementary, new front entrance canopy, new loop road back at the rear of the campus, and repaved the entire campus. Total HVAC replacement. Next slide, please. And we re-roofed the existing building and complete kitchen renovation. In other words, we started at the bottom, we went to the top, and we pretty much have a relatively new school at Leapart Elementary. Seven Oaks Elementary, our original scope was kindergarten addition, and as you can see right there, renovate the cafeteria, media center, clearly define the main entrance. What we were able to do while we were there was completely repaint the entire building, new ceilings and lighting, replace the majority of the flooring, new classroom casework, new plumbing, installed new fire sprinkler throughout the building. We put a lid on it with a re-roof with 50% capital, 50% bond, and complete kitchen renovation. That's Seven Oaks Elementary School, and what we did was made it relatively a new school. That's 3 new schools thus far. Irmo Elementary School originally was a new 38,000 square foot classroom addition. We were to renovate an old 1980s building. What we ended up doing was demolishing the 1980s building, and I compliment you on that decision. It was a good one. We built a 70,000 square foot new classroom wing. We completely renovated the 30,000 square foot historically important old building, saved hardwood floors with new cafeteria, new kitchen, new media center, secure entrance in your historically important modernized technology infrastructure. You have a relatively new school. That's 4 new schools. Next, we had Spring Hill High School and the center. Originally, the center was to be a 55,000 square foot career and technical center and a 275,000 square foot school with 2,000 core capacity. What we've constructed is 267,000 square foot Spring Hill High School. We've made provisions for the alternative academy, constructed a 115,000 square foot state-of-the-art center that just got an award tonight. Good timing. We've created a career center that y'all can be proud of and that people all around this country are paying attention to and coming in to see. Those are new schools 5 and 6. Chapin High School, our original scope was a 70,000 square foot addition to include classrooms, bring it to 1,700. What we now have is 180,000 square foot plus a new media center upgrades, secure administration renovation with secure entrance. We've added a strings room, new security system, new PA, fire sprinkler throughout the building. We've removed the 25 portables that you were having to deal with. And when we finish Chapin High School, it will be a relatively new building. We've got some things we've got to do in the fine arts building, but everything else about that building will be relatively new. Irmo High School, the original scope, as you were well aware, was not very inclusive. What we are able to do at this time is interior renovations. We've removed all the portables from the campus. That includes adult ed portables. We're no longer using any portables for adult ed. We've relocated them into a section where they now have 6 classrooms of their own in their own area of the building. So that's been huge for us. We have a new field house, modernized technology infrastructure, fire sprinklers, new ceilings and lights, and again, no remaining portables. Dutch Fork High School, again, small challenge, but again, with y'all's foresight, we had so much we needed to do at Irmo High and Dutch Fork High, and I didn't see it coming. That's y'all's wisdom that you were able to see that those things needed to be done. What we've been able to do is add another 1,500 seats to the other side. You have your new health science building, new visitors concession and restroom facilities. We've put a connector road to improve your traffic flow between the middle and high school, new front parking lot, installed synthetic turf, new stadium, baseball and softball field lighting, which was through capital, new press boxes at the girls and boys softball and baseball fields. Dutch Fork High School. All of those that I've just mentioned, along with the new middle school, would say that in the past 5 years, pretty much, or with 1 year to come with the new middle school coming, when it's all said and done with the bond referendum, you will have ended up with what, 5 relatively new schools, 3 new schools. So you've gotten 8 new schools, plus the improvements at Irmo High School and Dutch Fork High School with their auditorium at Irmo High School, the new health science. It's amazing. Now, what we did while we were doing that with the bond referendum, we take our capital dollars and focus them on the other remaining schools in this district. The slide you see here is what we were able to do at the other elementary schools in this case, while we were concentrating our bond dollars on the schools that had been approved in the bond referendum. We then took the capital dollars that we didn't have to focus on those schools, and we did these things at your elementary school. Every school now has your secure entrance. We've increased fencing, safety and security issues. We've replaced fire alarm systems, PA systems. We've rubberized all your playgrounds, or the majority of your playground systems. We've replaced lighting and carpet and floor covering. All of that in your elementary schools, as you can see the list. In your middle schools, pretty much the same thing. Again, secure entrances, improved safety and security, improved site lighting, new public address and clock systems, new HVAC. We've been able to replace the HVAC in most of, I think, I was looking at a chart that Scott gave me today. I think we're like 65% of the way through Dutch Fork High School, but most of our projects, we're 65 to 80% if they haven't been completed. That's on HVAC. On our high schools, same thing. We've installed some safety and security issues, replaced roofs. The bottom line is you have caught up on your 5-year plan. You've caught up on your 5-year plan and your 20-year plan. You're in great shape. You don't have major expenditures coming up on any of your buildings. That was our goal, and that was our challenge 5 years ago. I've tried to make it a quick wrap up for you, but folks, you can be real proud of what you've done in the last 5 years.
Any questions or comments for Mr. McAllister?
Mr. McAllister, I'm on behalf of the whole board, I'm amazed to go through that and get a recap like that and to realize how many relatively new schools we have. And as you go through that whole list, I think it was a great vision on Dr. Hefner's part, Dr. Berg's part, and you've been a constant through the whole thing, but the vision and the wisdom to use the bond monies from the voters of this district in 2008, they deserve a big hand to carry that forward and to combine with that capital funds and to create schools that we do see as new schools. And the students, during the whole time, they were safe, they've been secure, and it is rather amazing. I think it's something this entire district, all the parents and the students need to be extremely proud of. I was taking a walk yesterday and I'm just taken by some of the things I saw on the back campus side of Dutch Fork High School, and it is absolutely amazing. So we all appreciate the vision that you showed and your stick-to-itiveness to get it done, and it's not completely done yet, but it's getting there. And I think a highlight has to be the fact that we are very soon going to be down to just a minimal number of portables to operate, which I don't think any district ever totally gets rid of all portables, but it was a lofty goal, and I applaud the community first, and for you all carrying it out and the vision, and I'm hope the community is as excited about it as I am every time I see it, and it still kind of takes my breath, a lot of it. But thank you very much for your leadership on that.
Well, I appreciate it. It's been a great team effort. I mean, once I got Scott back from overseas, if I could keep him in the country, we're in great shape. Well, we could sit down and really work up a game plan. It really did come together well, and it was such a great team effort, and the maintenance department's done a great job of keeping us informed. So, thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes the superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Hefner. And next is public participation. Let's see if we had anyone sign up.